gamers, gals, and my non-binary pals. Welcome to the new age of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, YCS Providence, massive success. Tons of people, tons of cool deck lists, aka Mitsurugi and its pals. And Malice didn't win, so that's the important part. But we did finally get a little announcement from Konami regarding the update to pricing. Unfortunately, there will be no air fryers or toaster ovens, but there are prize card updates. But before we get into today's video, this video is brought to you by Summoner's Nexus. Summoner's Nexus is a digital indie TCG that's been in development for the past 4 years out of love for games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Marvel Snap. The game is designed for a dynamic back and forth with both players taking turns simultaneously and neither player ever feeling completely shut out of the game or feel like they're watching their opponent perform a cutscene while they're comboing off. The game is currently available in early alpha, which is completely free to download and play on both Android and iOS, with a PC port coming in the near future. With hundreds of cards currently in rotation and a passionate team putting everything on the line behind it, I highly recommend for you all to give Summoner's Nexus a look at the link on screen and in the description down below. Thank you again to Summoner's Nexus. So, anyone who's made a day 2 is now legible for a booster pack that will contain a hot stamped prize card. Now, some of these are just the most random fucking cards of all time. Like fucking the Adignister Link 6 or Gaga Magician. But there are some very, very cool cards too. There's like Cyber Dragon, there's Shaddoll Fusion, there's Caesar, there's Scale the World. Okay, for the most part, there's like 30% retro format, 40% like meta cards, and just like, yeah, fuck it, here's Gaga Magician and an Adignister, ball up top. Now, it is relatively easy to make day 2 an event, and this does incentivize people to actually like, stay and play for the entirety of the event, because people will usually be like, yeah, I ended like X2-2, and like, although that is technically a day 2 making record, I'm just not going to play out the rest of the event. I'm just going to dick around in wherever X event city is going to be, or just only play side events. This incentivizes people to actually like stick around for the main event and like keep playing, because gotta collect those prize cards. So I think this is pretty cool. I don't think that this is gonna be like crazy money, but I think that these cards are gonna be worth a good amount. I'll say it right now, I don't think Gaga Magician is gonna be over $20. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just the reality of stuff like this. There's gonna be a very high population of like most of these cards, or at least relatively high. It's kind of like if you look at like Quarter Century Stampede and you look at like the QCRs for like really, really bad cards. Like, some of these QCRs are just absolute horseshit. You know what I mean? Like Fairy Tale Snow and like Ring or Infinity. Like, some of these QCRs are so bad. But some of the good cards, like Blue Eyes White Dragon or like Cyber Dragon or like Desires or Caesar or like anything that's meta relevant, is going to be very, very, it's going to be expensive. I'm not saying it's going to be like $1 million, but it might be like $100 to $200, maybe even $300. Okay, if 25 people get to day 2, only 25 of each card will get pulled, and that's assuming that's the highest amount they listed. Yeah, but you have to consider that this is for every YCS. This is for like every YCS. This is for every Nationals. This is for basically almost every event, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you really put into perspective that every month we're getting like 4 YCSs, more or less, maybe like 3 or 2 on like slow, maybe 1. Well, let's assume they're like, I don't know, like 25 YCSs a year. That's about like 1,000 prize cards being put into circulation. Like, it's gonna be cool, but it's not gonna be that cool. And by the way, that $1,000, I just pulled that shit out of my ass. I don't even know. But we also have some more prize cards for top 32 and top 16. And that is, if you get top 32, you get a card trooper. Awesome. Okay, the main important thing is that these are hot stamped cards. Brother 625, there's a reason I didn't graduate, okay? There's a reason I dropped out of my math major, okay? This is very funny. Like, yes, we get it. Card trooper for an Edison event. Like, yes, we get it. Konami likes Edison. Thank you, E3 Yu-Gi-Oh, my goat. Now, I do think that the hot stamping of a retro card is like, okay, sure. Like, it could have been Dark Arm Dragon, it could have been like Kalut or whatever, but it is kind of cute that hot stamping is finally becoming a thing. And what's more cool is that for top 16, we finally get meta staple hot stamps. Now, it is going to be kind of like difficult to determine what meta staples are going to get like hot stamps or YCS rarities, but it is good that they're kind of being like, yes, top 16 will get an actually relevant pricing. Because if you keep this for yourself as just a collection piece, it is awesome. This shit is sick. You get to use it, you can like actually use it in your decks for the most part. And even if you don't, you could sell this very, very easily because again, it is just a meta staple. And this sort of pricing is gonna be at minimum like couple $100. $500 to $600 wouldn't even be out of the question. Maybe 1,000. Valor is given to more people in Japan and it goes for 4 digits American, and after the fact we have more events, about the same amount will be around. Like, yeah, sure. Like, if the baseline is around a 4-digit price tag for Japanese prize cards that are hot stamped, like, sure, we might dilute it a little bit with our filthy American copies, but at the same time, oh my god, finally, we have real-ish pricing. Now, do I wish they gave us more? Yes. Like, this is something that you can't really complain about. It's like, we finally got what we wanted. We got better pricing for premier events, and we finally have something that actually constitutes real value instead of like a fake-ass vanilla prize card. But at the same time, there are like some concerns. One is that the top 64 to 32 still only does get a playmat outside of their fuck-ass, you know, hot stamped Gagaga Magician. And I do wish that probably everyone who made Top Cut got a card trooper or a prize card in some capacity. And, you know, they could have just kept accelerating. Like, card trooper could have been for 32 to 64, and then 32 to 16 could have been an ultra rare, could have been the ultra veiler, and then top 8 could have been like secret rare Ash Blossom, and then like top 4 to first place, they all get like a QCR. I don't know, maybe they'll get like a QCR, like a QCR hot stamped Max C or something, like a very, very iconic card that's either like meta relevant or something like that. It'll be cool. We are also getting another pricing announcement after the next WCQ. Ah, yes. Finally, the Nintendo Switch 2. Like, yes, we are getting it for the new WCQ season, but I mean, that's all the way in fucking July, dog. Like, we don't have to worry about that for a little bit. I'll be sure to farm this topic again. So, I do think that you can expand on this sort of prize card model a lot more, but it is a great start. It is a great start. It is a great place to be, and I am super into it. Now, some people have some discerning opinions. Unironically though, I can't help but feel worried about this. Adding money to anything always ruins it. With good pricing, there's now real monetary incentive to cheat and shark. Whether you stack your deck on the bubble or not could now be the decider of thousands of dollars. Okay, I have to make this very clear because my ban appeal is coming up very soon. It is on the 23rd. Oh my god, it's like 18 days. Oh, I don't like that fact. It's like tingling in my balls, you know what I mean? So Konami, I am not advocating for cheating in any way. I am not saying that cheating is encouraged or is anything blah 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 blah. Konami, cheating bad. Please approve my appeal. I want to play in YCS event so bad. Please Konami, I want to play with my fucking Ultra Veiler. Anyways, you already saw how much perceived cheating was going on during remote duels. Now imagine if the stakes instead of Glory and Honor and $50 are $10,000. And Nerd Factor's not exactly wrong. Remote duels had and have an issue where there is a good amount of dishonest play. This is not, again, accusatory. There are a lot of documented cases where people have cheated on camera and have been banned. This is just an unfortunate truth of the medium. But yeah, if cheating does exist, even for events that have basically little to no stakes, there's going to potentially be an influx of cheating and dishonest behavior that will exist because there are more prizing incentives. That is just the unfortunate, parallel growth of this sort of behavior. And again, Konami, I'm not encouraging this. Please don't send me to jail. But, like Farfa outlines, they're not adding money. Also, nothing you said is even close to a new or unique problem in any space for years. Some people cheat and shark without anything on the line. This isn't new. And that is also true. Like, people will cheat in friendlies. People will cheat at, local level events. People will cheat. If there is a possibility to do so, dishonest players will always be dishonest players. and putting more money on the line isn't going to create more dishonest players all the time necessarily. It will just expose more people who have always been dishonest players. And again, Konami, please don't kill me. Adding super special promos that aren't random ass vanillas are equal to money. 2, I'm not saying it isn't already happening, I'm saying it's gonna get worse because now there's way more incentive. Okay, so we shouldn't improve prizing because people might cheat. We should not go inside, we should not go outside in case we catch a cold. Prizing has no significant benefits, but has the potential to turn the game into shit. I'm fine with trying it out, I just fear what's after. Nerd, I respect you on a lot of things, but I think this opinion is kind of not great. Like, yes, you can argue that yes, this incentivizes cheating. This incentivizes dishonest play. I agree with that sentiment. But just because the possibility for that exists, it doesn't mean that Konami is just gonna suddenly stop enforcing judges. You know what I mean? Like, I would be very surprised if there wasn't a massively increased flux of events asking for more judges, or events asking for better security, or, you know, way more oversight into player behavior and faster deck checks and all that sort of deal. I think it would be great. If Konami is able to actually keep up with the increased influx of players and able to keep an eye out on everyone, which I know is very wishful thinking because it is Konami, I think that this game can have the potential to grow from a competitive scene, because more people actually will have real incentive to actually play the game. Ah yes, prizing doesn't have benefits. I totally don't want to earn my money back after I played an event like I can in other TCGs. It is crazy how you could basically just like top a One Piece regional and you'll make like $3,000. Where like if you top a Yu-Gi-Oh regional, you maybe get a deck box. I don't know, maybe there's a playmat in there too. We can't wait to get the fucking Regenesis playmat. But yeah, that's just my quick 2 cents about this whole little scenario. This wasn't a very long video, but I hope you guys are able to have a quick little debate in the comments section about it in regards to, is money good or is money bad? The world will never know. You mean lose 1K? Yeah, you're right, because you do have to spend $800 on your Yugioh Mitsurugi deck in order to top that regional, and spend money on gas and food or flights or lodging, and then, you know, what a deck box. Awesome. Anyways, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.